Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the editors of ENR, it is my privilege to present the 54th Annual ENR Award of Excellence to Vicki O'Leary. Come on up, Vicki.
Wow. I first would like to thank ENR. They've been following me around for a few months, so I've got to know some of them pretty well. So I want to thank ENR, Jan Tuckman especially. You have just been an amazing woman to be around. I also want to thank Impact, the Ironworkers International, and my family. My mother, who's battling cancer, my father, who was the first man who was that one guy for me, and my brother John, who you saw, challenged me. My son Hayden, who is just totally, absolutely my heart. And my friends, and the kick-ass ironworker women, some who are here today, who support me. And members of my family, and close friends, those who traveled to New York City to be here, some all the way from California. Actually, many from California are here today. And my home local one in Chicago, for taking in a young woman who was completely oblivious to the challenges that lay ahead. You don't end up here without a solid foundation and amazing reinforcements, and I have that with the Ironworkers and my friends and family. I have unwavering support since I started with the Ironworkers International in 2016. I feel so truly blessed. But now let's talk about the abysmal Department of Labor statistics. There are only 3% of women working with the tools in the construction industry. That equals around 30,000 of the 72 million women in the workforce are working with construction tools. 30,000 out of 72 million. You can easily see that the answer to the construction labor shortage is women. So let's talk about what we already know. We know that there must be change to the way that we do business. We know that there's a whole generation that needs to learn about the great opportunities we have in construction. And we know gender discrimination and psychological violence knows no boundaries. We know harassment and intimidation can make for an extremely hostile work environment for everyone, not just women. We know the industry is going to have to do a lot more to welcome and retain people marginalized by racism or sexism. And we know the old school solution of telling victims to suck it up or to be a man, that just isn't gonna cut it anymore. What I personally know, a lot of great ironworkers have left the industry. I know the reason they left was not because the work was too difficult. They left because of how they were treated on the job by their coworkers, and some even in leadership positions. They were fine with the grueling work, being high up or in cramped and small spaces, but they were not okay with the disrespect and abuse from others. Millennials are a new generation with a different perspective and attitude. They care about equal treatment and social justice more than job security and pensions. Very different from my era, but thank God for the millennials. The reality is most millennials don't see a future where they have the opportunity to retire. Most companies don't offer pensions, but guess what? The building trades do. If we want tomorrow's workforce to stick around, we need programs like the Ironworkers, Be That One Guy, to help us address the issues and provide a more equitable and professional work environment that will not only attract but retain this millennial workforce. We've started down the path to change through programs like the Ironworkers, Be That One Guy, that focus on workers' responsibility to each other and what they should do rather than what they should not do. Programs that encourage workers to take an active role in maintaining a positive worksite culture and allow them to intervene, to respectfully to help out and stop improper behavior before it rises to the level of illegal harassment. Through our program, our union's asking rank and file members to step up and treat harassment and bullying like the safety issue it is. When our members see something, we tell them to say something. The concept of bystanders having that power is the very core of our program. Working together with industry partners and contractors, it allows us to harness the power of bystanders to become part of that solution. The industry needs to help workers understand their own ability to change the job site culture. In the union, it's part of our brotherhood and sisterhood's commitment to each other and a solidarity-based method of coping with harassment. In the fall of 2016, I was asked to chair the North America's Building Trades Union Women's Committee. This committee is the driving force for Tradeswomen Build Nations Conference, which was formerly known as the Women Build Nations Conference. Since that time, we've morphed from 1,200 people, tradeswomen and allies, to nearly 2,300. This is the largest conference and gathering of tradeswomen in the world. This conference offers tradeswomen the opportunity to meet and network and go to workshops with their counterparts from all over North America. This committee is also working with CPWR, the Center for Construction Research and Training, to roll out a similar program to the Ironworkers, Be That One Guy, throughout the construction industry. The committee continues to work on language that can be introduced to every affiliate of NAB2 for constitutional changes in each international union for psychological violence, harassment, and intimidation. The ENR study conducted last year found that 14% of those that were questioned had experienced sexual harassment had quit. My union calculated we invest about $32,000 in each apprentice during their 4-year apprenticeship. We are unnecessarily losing a lot of training dollars when we are unable to keep our workers in the industry due to bad behavior on the job site. Workers and solidarity-based programs are half the equation. While OSHA says that a hostile workplace presents safety and health concerns, the agency's current standards cannot provide the protection that workers need to feel safe. Harassment and psychological violence are the nastiest form of differential treatment. By waiting for violence to occur so that the issues can be handled through EEOC is not the answer. Industry leaders have to step up and bridge the gap between regulatory compliance and job site culture. There's a lot more that needs to happen to ensure that the construction industry is more inclusive. The effectiveness of any inclusion program, depending on leadership, it depends on their leadership and taking it seriously. And buy-in for improvements in union member education and contractor policy Development is imperative for a more professional job site. Ladies and gentlemen, after all, if we take harassment out of the equation, all we have left to do is build. Looking ahead, I have envisioned building a construction industry with job sites that embrace diversity. I see gender equity with men and women working together side by side. I see millennials working with baby boomers, learning the trade. I see workers looking out for each other. It is our responsibility to pass on the torch to the next generation in better shape than when we got it. This is our legacy, and this is our time to create an industry where all workers who want to work with their hands are welcomed and embraced, and make it our purpose to ensure that all of us go home at the end of the day intact. We may be tired at the end of the day, but we need to go home as safe and as healthy as when we arrived. The Ironworkers' support for diversity and our women members has steadily increased, but we can't do it alone. The industry needs to wake up to the challenges a millennial workforce will demand. Moving forward, we need to work together, unions, contractors, project owners, to ensure that compliance and enforcement and policies have to be in place to protect the persons being harassed and to be fair to the ones accused of harassment. Everyone in this room, in this industry, can have a positive impact on addressing these issues. You can be that one guy or gal. We need to take this a lot further to right the disparity among people marginalized by racism or sexism. We must not stop until we get the job done. Thank you very much. I appreciate this.